Welcome back to the channel. Listen, they're putting out so much information and they're literally confirming everything that we've been discussing for years now. It's all coming to fruition. Now, if you remember, a while back, we were talking about small and medium-sized banks. We covered a few articles. I was showing you how, first of all, there's a lot of value in those so-called small to medium-sized banks. And I was telling you, do not sleep on that. Then I made the connection between Ripple talking about the digital wallets, the custodying services. Then we brought up an article, actually maybe two of them, from some of the central banks talking about the advantages of digital wallets. And I was saying how that's going to get them hooked. I think I even said something like that, something similar to that recently. Look at this. Can digital wallets, stable coins solve small banks' cross-border cost center? They have cross-border payment problems. They have payment problems across the board. It's so expensive for any of these institutions to move money around and even send information around. It's unbelievable. We know that the digital wallets and the infrastructures and mechanisms that they're attached to, we know that they can solve those problems. So what are they really trying to say here? So if we know that just by looking at the mechanisms, looking at what they do, we understand it cuts costs dramatically. That's one of the main reasons that these companies love the bank coin companies. Simple. So if we know that, what are they trying to tell us here? Can digital wallets? So the answer is yes. But if the answer is yes, folks, right? And you do your own research. You do your own research. But if the answer is yes, then that would mean if all of those, that ton of value is going to come to the bank coins, the price must go up. Literally, which they knew years ago. They knew this. I think that's one of the firm reasons why. Number one, a lot of these big timers are holding XRP, including the people at Ripple. They know that value is going up, and that's useful, whether you just want to have a lot of value outright or you want to allocate that to something. But also, and there was something else I was going to say, and it's just completely, that ever happened to you, just leaves your mind. You make one powerful point or you feel like it, and then you go back to make the second point, you forget what it was. Listen, folks, there's no way around it. That's why they're talking about this now. Let's read this little tidbit, okay? By the way, if you enjoyed this content so far, boom, click that like button, right? Don't delay. Click that like button. Cross-border payments don't have a small bank problem. Small banks have a cross-border problem. Just, folks, that's how they started this article. You do know everything that they write. These people are paid a lot of money. This is from payments.com. They're paid a lot of money to make sure that they convey this information in a way that is concise, is going to make an impact to their audience. Who's the audience of payments.com? It's not regular people. Go out there in the world right now and ask people around you if they read an article from payments.com right now. It's not for them. They don't know about this. So who's it for? It's for the businesses. Businesses, small banks, big timers, as far as in the industry. And they lead off with this sentence is so powerful. You don't have to agree. I'm telling you what I'm thinking, 100% raw. Cross-border payments don't have a small bank problem. What do they mean by that? So let's think. They don't have a small bank problem. Ripple alluded to many times since last year. Go look up the quotes from people that spoke at Ripple that saying they have a ton of banks, but they just haven't announced it. Didn't they say something similar to that? Like maybe a few weeks back, they said it again. If I'm remembering correctly, make sure you check that. But I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. If they don't have a small bank problem, you have certain bank coin companies saying that they have a ton of banks. They just haven't announced them yet. Oh, and that's right. I do remember now. A few weeks back, there was someone from Ripple, I can't remember who alluded to having a bunch of central banks. You can find those articles. Central banks. So if they have a bunch of central banks, it is going to be much easier to bring in the small, medium-sized banks that are looking for a life preserver because they don't want to be crushed by the big banks. The big banks want them to do badly. You're going to say, Mick, why would they want them to do badly? If you've been with the channel for a while, or not even that, if you've been reading financial news for a long time, you'll know that the big banks want the small, medium-sized banks to do a little bit, to not do as well, so they can absorb them. And thus the big banks grow. The big banks grow off of feeding off those small and medium-sized banks, or keeping them where they are until they can't feed off of them. They didn't like that. They came out themselves and said that in a variety of different ways. They used to have these meetings. They used to put the transcripts out on those meetings. I don't know if they still do, but I haven't seen it. But back then, at the beginning of the channel, that was easy to find. All of a sudden now, it's not so easy to find. Why is that? Come on now. If there's a significant change, I am going to ask, why was that change instituted? All of a sudden it's just buried? Listen, they know. They don't want people knowing too much. Some of us have gone so far that they've taken notice of it. We made enough noise in certain communities and they've taken notice of it. They don't want the people knowing too much, too bullish. All right, let me get back to the article, okay? So cross-border payments don't have a small bank problem. In my humble opinion, my translation is these bank coin companies have been feasting behind the scenes, and when those NDAs are up, and once we get these last few hurdles out of the way, and there are just a few left, you should know that by now, reading the articles. Once those hurdles are gone, it's playtime. It's playtime, and then the only question is what can stop these prices from exploding? They can't stay cheap. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I remember what I had forgotten. That's why individuals like David Schwartz can say XRP cannot remain cheap. What's cheap? 50 cents was cheap. $2 is cheap. $3 is cheap. $5 is cheap. $8 is cheap. $10 is cheap. Then you pair that, once again, you pair that with look up on xrpl.org, look up payment channels, and they may have changed the verbiage. If they tried to do something like that, where it used to tell you, and I show screenshots, if you can find those old videos, I didn't take any videos down. If you can find those videos, I put literal screenshots from, I think it was xrpl.org, that showed in this mechanism that they have called payment channels. That was only one. There was like 2 or 3 different mechanisms where you can only use XRP. But in that, so if they try to change the verbiage, I think you can use stuff to see the old information. It's like, is it like Internet Archive or something like that, where you can see the old information that somebody thought that they erased? I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying. But you can only use XRP. So, that's the thing. The higher the amount you're sending, the lower the transaction costs are. That's what I read. The higher the amount that you are sending, also, the faster the transaction speeds, the higher the priority you have on the network. So now you're going to have banks competing. Hey, I want mine first. Who doesn't want to be first? Who doesn't want theirs to be prioritized at the top? Who doesn't want theirs to be the best? So this one sends a higher amount. That one sends a higher. They're all competing. That affects XRP's price. It can't stay cheap. There's no way. And then that brings up thoughts of other things. Just look at some of these other bank coins that are designed exactly like XRP. They have the same mechanisms. You think they can stay cheap? No way. I got that straight from the 90s. Remember, it was like in all the cartoons and shows, there would always be someone that says, no, they dragged the no out, and then way, no way. Like, I like that. I don't care what anybody says. I like that. To me, this is my opinion. It's not to shift yours. I don't care what anybody says. Late 80s and early 90s to mid 90s was the best time period ever on earth, ever. Great movies, great food. Oh, man. Don't get me started on the food. Oh, and the amounts. Woo, the amounts of food. Sports. Oh, man. People were out and about in the world. Yeah, they were out and about. You just pull up, everybody's playing football. You don't even know them. Immediately, you just in the game. Hey, get in the game, bro. Right. Flag. Here's a flag. Flag, tag, tackle. It didn't matter. Basketball. Hey, I got next. That's it. You don't even know these people. We're just showing up at random. We're just showing up at random playgrounds. We're getting in the game. Man, let me tell you, people don't understand how good it was back then. So anyway, that's my humble opinion. And there was so many different styles. There was so much diversity in clothing, speech, everything, music. And everybody was trying to be the best. So you got quality. All right, let's get back to the crypto. I'm thinking back, I enjoy thinking back. I do. You don't think you don't enjoy that? All right, so now let's go back here. It says, as large banks use economies of scale and bespoke infrastructure to streamline international transactions, small banks, credit unions, don't forget them, and other local financial institutions can find themselves left grappling with high costs. You notice how every article they're bringing that up. They're justifying this mass adoption they're about to have, rapid mass adoption they're about to implement. So that way, once they do this, no one can say, why are you doing it? Why are you moving so fast? Which, by the way, listen, you do what you want to do. I'm just saying, I think you want to get in that members only section. I'm about to drop a video I think is going to be very powerful and potent. You want to see this? That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. But this one should be very potent. I'll leave it at that. Get in that members only section. All right. So anyway, or not. Don't forget the credit unions. Other local financial institutions can find themselves grappling with high costs, longer processing times, and limited transparency. People don't even see what's coming. They're still playing the game at it, in my humble opinion, no disrespect. A lot of people are still playing the game at an amateur level. They think that this is 3 years ago, 4 years ago. They think this is the same crypto from back then, like 2021. No, it's not. How you can spot that out for yourself? Look at how people deal with Bitcoin. They're still playing the Bitcoin game like it's 2021. What? The catalysts, the controllers of Bitcoin are different. I think people are going to see. Not financial advice, just my humble opinion. Wait until those prices explode. There's no way around it. And I'm the one to tell you, hey, listen, Bitcoin is going up or not. Bitcoin is not. You wouldn't even hear me talk about Bitcoin if I didn't believe in it, to be honest. As a researcher, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, I can't deny it. There's no way. And same thing with the bank coins. I don't play with the bank coins at all. I believe in them more than I believe in Bitcoin. But it's undeniable. Until I see something that's going to be so negative, so powerful, so moving, it changes that trajectory. I feel it's the same thing with silver. I talked about silver a long time ago. A lot of people didn't believe in silver. I calmed down on it a little bit because I like to diversify a little, from time to time, especially when things slow down. And things have slowed down as far as information on the utilization of silver in certain industries. But I still was tell people every once in a while, like, I believe in silver. I think silver is looking good. All the positive catalysts remain. And then silver did what it does. And now you see all of these high paid professionals coming out now. Look it up. And they're saying how they think silver has a bright future. And already show glimpses of it. You have all of these industries. Let's sum this up and then we'll get to a little bit of Bitcoin news. We have all these industries clamoring for the technology, talking about the need for advancement in technology, and they're telling you their problems. Then when you look at their problems, only DLT, distributed ledger technology, solves their problems. This is not rocket science as far as what's about to happen. And this is long past the time where anyone can say, well, the legacy system has been there for years now. We've been observing their technologies. They've tried. And guess what? No one adopted them. They outright rejected them. We've gotten the information back. We've gotten the data back now that shows they outwardly been rejected. And you're seeing article after article from professional companies crying out for new technology, saying that they're still struggling with high costs and slow speeds and things of that nature. Come on now. I think this is going to be rapid at some point. It's going to be easy at some point once again. But just watch all the catalysts. Once again, we still have a few hurdles to get through. Watch that members only video. I'm going to put it out either tonight or tomorrow. Trust me on this. So now let's go here. Let's go to a little bit of Bitcoin news before the video gets a little bit long, okay? So now this article here is titled Stablecoin Legislation to Drive Bitcoin Market Cycle in 2025. Finance redefined. Everyone's saying that everything's getting redefined, and it's true. There's a new age here, a golden age about to arrive, and I don't know how long it's going to last. That's why I sometimes side eye people that look like they're being lackadaisical, and I don't say anything. I just go about my business, but I'm looking like, you think it's a game, and this opportunity, it's not going to last long, because there's a few things that happen when you have something skyrocket, whether it's Bitcoin or the altcoins. When something skyrockets, and it is in that catapult happened by way of established legacy system institutions that have a continuity of value of capital. Those prices usually don't come back down. Look at gold. Once again, there's your example. Look at gold. Do you think gold? I mean, listen, anything is possible, okay? There's always an unknown variable. There's always a possibility. But what is the likelihood of gold going back down to $1,600 so that way someone can get in at $1,600, $1,500, $1,400, $1,700? Let's be nice. And ride it all the way back up to $3,400, $3,300. What's the likelihood of that happening? It's very unlikely. Everyone's talking about gold possibly going to $4,000 and beyond. And so that's what I mean. Once these institutions step in, and they stepped into Bitcoin, they're stepping into the bank coins as well. You see them buying up Solana. They have a Solana reserve someone's trying to do. They have XRP reserves they're trying to do. They're getting in position. Once those prices go up, is there still going to be volatility? Yes, there's still volatility with gold, as an example. But it's not going to come anywhere down where prices that we've seen in the past. I doubt it. They don't play the game like that. I doubt it. So anyway, back to this article here. So once again, this article is titled Stablecoin Legislation to Drive Bitcoin Market Cycle in 2025. Finance redefined. Bitcoin's consolidation phase may break out into the next phase of price discovery, catalyzed by forthcoming U.S. stablecoin rules. Everything is looking good. Everything. Despite a week of price consolidation for Bitcoin, which is showing green here at $105,851, emerging digital asset legislation may provide the next significant catalyst for the world's first cryptocurrency. Folks, we're getting one catalyst after another, after another, after another. The golden age, the door to that is opening rapidly. It says upcoming stablecoin rules such as the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, Genius Act, may lay the foundation for a Bitcoin cycle top of over $150,000, according to Alice Lee, investment partner and head of U.S. crypto venture capital firm Foresight Ventures. Meanwhile, venture capitalist VC interest has slumped. The number of VC deals recorded its lowest month of the year in May, with just 62 investment rounds, resulting in $909 million. This is a challenging, quote, macro backdrop, unquote, paired with higher for longer policy rates, jittery bond markets. Ooh, that's another thing people. Let me keep going. And fresh tariff headlines have made it harder for risk assets to get new M&A. What did I say? M&A deals over the finish line. This is coming from Patrick Heusser, head of lending at Centaura and former investment banker. This is what he's telling Cointelegraph. All right. Bitcoin reserve, stablecoin regulations, big 2025 market catalyst, says VC. Improving regulatory clarity in the United States may push Bitcoin past $150,000 during the current market cycle, according to Alice Lee, investment partner and head of U.S. at crypto venture capital firm Foresight Ventures. During Cointelegraph's Chain Reaction X Spaces show on June 3rd, Lee said the crypto market's 2025 rally had been driven mainly by shifting U.S. policy. I suppose you could attribute it to that, because that would also be tied to all of the different institutions buying. But at the same time, I would give the institutions credit. I think all of this is happening because of them. I think they gave the okay. We saw certain very suspicious activities happening with some of the central banks back in like December or January. And it made a few of us in the members only section say, wait, what's going on here? You know, somebody's pulling people's collars. And then what happened? Boom, crypto just start taking off. And I'm not just talking about the price, because by that time, the prices were already going up. But I mean, that's when you start hearing about, oh, they're going to change the regulatory landscape. And after that, you know, it was over. It was time to start. I'm going to say they're nibbling, because I think the feast is yet to come. I do. But I think the company sparked that. The large institution said, it's time. We're ready to play. We're in position. And so they acted, and the individuals that they influenced with their money, they sprinkle a lot of money around. Those individuals sprang into action. And now you have a lot of regulations being positive regulations being enacted for crypto. I don't think it's very complicated. It says here, Lee's comments came as the industry was awaiting a full Senate vote on the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, all right, which aims to set clear rules for stablecoin collateralization and mandate compliance with anti-money laundering laws. Pardon me. All right, so now let's see. I thought I had a little bit of gold. I want to squeeze a little bit of gold news in here. There we go. Ooh, here's a good one for you today. All right, folks, here we go. So this article is titled, I told you it was going to happen again. And this is after so many article writers were like, well, the buying of the gold was slowing a couple weeks back. And I told you, I said, it always slows. And they report it themselves and say, hey, we're going to start buying again. We're going to slow down at this time. And then they do it. And then they start buying again. And they told you before they're going to buy again. So this is a cycle. But anyway, this article is titled, Central Banks Accelerate Gold Buying as De-Dollarization Heats Up. Central banks are turbocharging their gold reserves in 2025 as global distrust in the U.S. fiscal stability and dollar assets explodes. Amid escalating global tensions and a concerted move away from U.S. dollar reliance, central banks are increasingly turning to gold as a strategic reserve asset. I told you it was going to continue. They have no choice. There is a problem in the global financial systems. Metals Focus, okay, reported on June 5th in its annual gold market outlook that central banks are expected to purchase 1,000 metric tons of gold in 2025, marking the fourth consecutive year of significant official sector buying. One must ask themselves, why? What's been happening? Why are they doing this? Gold is protective. What are they protecting themselves from? Although, which is bullish for gold that they're doing this, of course. Although this forecast represents an 8% decrease from the record 1,086 tons acquired in 2024. That's not that much of a difference, but okay. It indicates that central bank demand remains historically elevated. Something's coming. They're preparing themselves. And isn't it interesting how they're protecting their value and yet most people are not? Right? This is... When you look at it that way and you do a little bit, you don't even need a lot of research, a little bit of research into what's going on in the global financial web. He's a little spooky, doesn't it? You're like, oh, man. A lot of people are not ready. It says Metals Focus, and I don't know when something's going to happen. I just know the potentiality is there. Metals Focus emphasized that this trend is being propelled by ongoing efforts to reduce reliance on U.S. dollar denominated assets. They're trying to, okay, to me, they're trying to focus the minds on one avenue when it's not one avenue. They're all having problems. Listen, look at the problems in Europe, right? Just do a Google search or some kind of search on the problems in Europe's financial system. The article should pop up easily. Then we all know the problems in the U.S. financial system. There's obviously problems in China's financial system. We heard about that. Wait a minute. There's problems in Japan's financial system. There's problems in the United Kingdom's financial system. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that this article, even though it's trying to focus us in one direction, oh, US dollar, that's cute. That's cute. I mean, you're trying to get clicks, and definitely that's going to catch. That's eye catching for sure. But that's only a part of what's going on. They all have problems. Well, anyway, the point is gold looks super bullish. All right. Right. So now that you have the information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.